Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video of League discussion. This is the series where I take up a topic, rip it apart with my own opinions and experiences, and encourage you guys to join in the conversation in the comments section below. And now, before we get into today's topic, which is all about communication, I want to announce something for the next episode. So the next episode I'm planning on doing, and again, you can say if it's a good idea in the comments section below, is I want to basically call the next episode Toxic or Toxicity or whatever, and I actually want to do something different. I want to invite somebody onto the show to talk to them, and basically I'm inviting you guys to not audition, but basically send me what's the easiest way of doing it? Send me a private message on YouTube or Facebook, my Facebook page, or any way you can send me a message privately of saying you are a toxic person and you'd be willing to come onto the show. Now, I don't want any fake people. I don't want... It sounds weird. I am actually literally asking for toxic people. And I want the... Here's the big thing. I want somebody to be 18 plus. I don't want really young people, because the reason... I already know the reason why young people are young, because they don't understand the repercussions of being toxic. They don't understand how the world works yet. So I want somebody who is generally a little bit more mature to come onto the show, who is toxic, and kind of explain themselves, and I can pick their brains. I'll definitely have a lot of questions, and I think it'll be a pretty good idea. It'll be a really good insight to why people actually are toxic in a video game. So again, if you are somebody who is 18 plus, it doesn't matter where you're from, that has a microphone and are confident enough to speak and, you know, voice your opinion, then private message me saying, you know, you're toxic, what did you do, you know, why are you toxic, and we'll try and work something out in the next few weeks. So let's go on to the topic, though, of today, and it kind of links. This is why I'm doing this episode, and then we'll do the next one after. So today's episode is all about communication. So I've got 4 titles, and here's a little bit of change to the series that I've done. I've actually got some little titles that I'll actually keep on track, and this is what we're going to cover in today's episode. And the 4 titles is how to deal with normal teammates, how to deal with toxic teammates, pinging, and the whole teaching people in-game. So if we start with the first one, how to deal with teammates. The first thing I'll say is I'm somebody who is regarded anyway, and I see it in the comment section, as a fairly nice guy. Yes, I get frustrated, and I'll go on to that later. I get frustrated all the time, but one thing I will never do is take it out on my teammates, because I realise that is a pointless thing to do. If you're taking it out on your teammates, you're probably going to make yourself perform worse, and therefore also make them perform worse, and therefore lose the game. So how to deal with them is, if you have any frustrations, you could type it if you want to, but delete it. You see me doing that occasionally when I'm playing and streaming or doing an episode of Unranked Diamond. Sometimes I'll type something like, why did you do that? But I'll press delete and I'll get rid of it. It lets me express what I wanted to say without actually telling them. Or sometimes a better way of doing it is expressing yourself vocally out loud, you know, in the real world. Because what I find is people need to express themselves, and once you say it out loud, it's gone. The frustration is gone. So how to deal with them is nicely, positively, and encourage. That is generally what I kind of find works. You know, as somebody that's been Diamond 1, generally Diamond 2 most of my LoL career, it works. Being positive, basically going good job after every kill that you get. Maybe not after every single one, but good job, well played. If they do something really good, say well done. And be encouraging. If someone is having a hard time, just say don't worry about it. And if they do find that they're raging, we'll get onto that in a second, but there are other ways of dealing with that type of person. But just be encouraging. You know, don't put down teammates. The one thing that baffles my mind is what people don't tend to think about is, if you're hammering somebody to the ground, you know, you're raging at them, you're toxic at them, that's your teammate. That's the person you're relying on to try and help you win the game, and you're flaming them. Like, it's never going to work. So try and be as nice as you can. If you have any frustrations, just don't actually let them see it. Don't type to them. If you are typing, delete the message so you get it out, or just say it out loud. And generally you'll have a better time. So the next thing in the bigger one is how to deal with toxic teammates. I've had a lot of experience with this. I'm playing League of Legends for a very long time, so it's pretty easy for me to deal with toxic people. The easiest way, and definitely the easiest way, and a lot of people for some reason don't do it, is the mute button. It's there for a reason, and I use it all the time. A lot of people in the Unranked to Diamond series have said to me, why are you muting people? It's funny. I don't find it funny. You know, I don't find people raging or being toxic funny. I never will. I think it's childish. So I literally just mute them and move on. I recommend you to do the same. If you don't want to mute them, if you think it's key to talk to them to try and win, then just try to be encouraging. And if they're not having it, then I'll say mute them. Sometimes I do try and be like, hey, snap out of it. We can win this game. And if they're having none of it, then I mute them. And again, muting is the answer. I had a few weeks ago, a week or so ago, this guy, and you can tell this guy's very young in the comment section, maybe 11, 12 or something. So he's not experienced. He's not, you know, out there in the world yet. So he doesn't really know what's going on. And he says he's AFKing a lot because of rages. And it's like, why are you AFKing because of rages when the mute button exists? Like, there is no reason. You know, AFKing, in my opinion, is worse than actually raging, because raging you can ignore. AFKing is literally losing the game for your team. There's no if, buts, or maybes. You're literally leaving the game, and that should be bannable 100% straight away. Where just mute the rager. That simple. Mute the toxic person. The one thing that I always find with toxic people is they think that they're really important. And this is what I say, if I actually get a toxic person, I will ask this question to them: do you think you're more important than other people on your team? I presume the answer will be yes, because they want their opinion heard. They think their opinion matters more. And if you take that away from them, if you mute them and you don't react to them, they can do nothing. That's their power gone as such. So yeah, muting is the answer. Next one is pinging. Pinging is something that is overused in Diamond, underused in lower ratings. So pinging is a magical thing that basically is a very quick way of telling people what's going on. We are lucky pinging exists. I think it came in Season 3, maybe mid-Season 3 or something. When I played in Season 1 and 2, pinging wasn't there. You know, you had to type if you wanted to let people know. If you didn't have enough time to let people know, they'd probably die. So ping is magical. Make sure you're using it. If you haven't learned which each one does, learn it off by heart, because trust me, it helps. Instead of thinking, which one is on my way? Just know it off by heart and use them. Don't overuse them though. Like I say, Diamond players tend to overuse them, and that gets very frustrating. It's like, okay, I realise that you're on your way. You don't need to do it 5 or 6 times. Generally, I do it twice, maybe 3 times if it's a very serious situation. So I'll do on my way. And if it's very much they're backing off, but I want them to go in, it's on my way. And that generally works. Or it's, you know, be careful or enemy missing, that type of thing. And now the final point I want to cover is the whole teaching people in-game thing that a lot of people do. You know, I call myself a teacher as such, or kind of a teacher in League of Legends. And occasionally I will make a suggestion to people, but that's occasionally. I see people all the time. It happens in every rating in the game. I've had several Smurfs from Unranked to Diamond, you know, not just series ones, but I've got like 4 accounts from Unranked to Diamond before. And the amount of people that try to teach people in game astounds me. And here's the point. A lot of people do not want to be told what to do. And even if they're doing something slightly wrong, I find it's usually okay to make a suggestion, but don't flat out tell them. And I've done it. You know, people will probably call me out on this one. I have said to people, don't tank, don't do that. It's true. But the best thing to do is just make a suggestion and give evidence for your suggestion. Never try to just say something to them without anything backing it up. You know, if you say to like, I don't know, Shyvana top lane, hey, would you mind building tank because we have 3 people that do damage and look at the enemy team, we need someone in the front line. If you word it like that, they'll probably take it a lot better. And if they don't, well, they don't. But basically, never teach people in game. And then the final thing I want people to kind of think about when it comes to this whole teaching people in game is no matter if you think you're better than your teammates, you are in the same rating as them for a reason. They have got to the same point as you at some stage. You know, you're in the same game, therefore the same MMR bracket. So technically, you're no better than them. On rating and on paper, you're no better than them. You might be playing better this game, but that doesn't necessarily make you a better player. So sometimes just be like, okay, we're having a bad game, accept it, and be like, make a suggestion. If that suggestion isn't taken, the reason why people aren't taking your suggestion is most likely because you're in the same game as them, you're in the same rating as them, they don't see you as somebody that they can learn from, or they don't see you as somebody they can take your advice from, which is, in my opinion, perfectly fine. If you're in the same rating as somebody, they technically don't know any more than you, unless they're on, you know, you're on a champion that they know or something. There are exceptions. But generally that is the reason. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Thought I'd just kind of give a couple of points to communication just to make it a bit clearer, and also announce, you know, next episode I do want to have a toxic person on to try and discuss some things and try and work out the mind. So again, just to kind of say while we wrap up this video, if you are 18 plus and are a toxic person, and when I say toxic I mean chat restriction, a ban, ranked restriction, all this type of thing. It's pretty obvious. Send me a message of what one are you. Have you had an account banned? Are you just chat restricted? Or are you ranked restricted? Let me know what you are, and make sure you're 18 plus. And I will we'll see and work it out. I am going away this Sunday for a week, but we will work it out definitely in the next few weeks. So thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.